you really had to go out of your way to find a non-black to date. So it's just kind of like, you weird, like something wrong with you, like. But also, like, love is love, so.
In between interracial couples, between, black people versus white people, who do you think has more problems with interracial couples, black people or white people? Who do you think, honestly, would have more problems? You would probably say the white people. You would probably say...
I would say the black people.
Why would you say the black people?
Because I think black people like to keep to their own, most of them.
Who's most of them? Maybe. I don't know. But I would say most of the comments that we get that are kind of like, and maybe just because we're kind of on the black side of YouTube, but most of the comments that we get are from black people that are kind of like, ew, you know what I'm saying? And so it might just be because we're on the black side of YouTube. Maybe if we're on the white side of YouTube, we get the white comments, like, But I would probably agree with you. I would say probably black people have more to say about interracial relationships, I don't know, than white people do. And it may just be because black people are more outspoken than white people are. Maybe. White people might think it, but black people say it. So this is just black people talking about interracial relationships, what their feelings are about them. So I guess who you think will have the most to say, black men or black women?
What is your opinion on interracial relationships?
I have a lot of opinions.
Whatever floats your boat. Other races, you could dibble and dabble.
I love them. I think they're great.
I think they're fine for other people.
I don't have a problem with interracial relationships. I only see a problem if people use it as a gimmick or try to use their partner as a display.
I think interracial relationships are interesting.
I think it's cool, date who you want to date.
I think it's completely fine. I think it depends on your intent and where it comes from.
I don't mind them. I would do one. I have done one, so there we go.
So it almost seems like right now they picked up a panel full of people that don't mind them. But I think secretly they do mind them. It's like, okay, it's one thing to say, it's like, I don't mind them. But it's another thing, it's like, would you date interracially? And the thing is that if you wouldn't and that's not your preference, then that's fine. But, what do you really think about it? And why wouldn't you do it is what it comes down to.
Would you ever be in an interracial relationship?
Honestly, yeah, I would.
I don't think that's what the Lord wants for me.
The Lord?
Yeah, the Lord. What color is the Lord?
From what I understand,
is it like Lord?
Is it like Lord Farquaad from Shrek? He's light skinned. He's like, isn't he like? He's light skinned. European. I don't know, but if there is a greater power, and I do believe there is a greater power, do you think he's really that caught up on racial colors? If he created everything, if he created everyone, do you think he's really like, you know what? I created these white people, stay with these white people, and I created these black people, stay with these black people, and I created this race, stay with this race. It's like, dude, doesn't really care. So when people try to use religion to try to separate themselves from people, it's like, listen, I almost feel like that you're a fake religious person at that point in time. It's like you're in your little cult. In the religion I grew up with, we were to love everybody.
Yeah, but people still have...
Treat everybody equal.
And that's why I always look at church people kind of funny, because church people, all these people that always say that I'm very righteous, but they have so many opinions about stuff. And so, listen, have your opinions, I don't care, but I don't know. I don't know if you're really God-fearing at that point in time.
Me personally, I like black on black, so no, I would not.
I would be in one if it means I could get the green card, because I am currently not from here.
It sounds like your type of person. It sounds like your 90-day fiancé person.
That's fake.
What's fake?
I think that was fake.
He said he would be in one if he could get a green card.
I think he was kidding. He was laughing. I think that was a fake. That was a joke.
You didn't turn off the air either.
They aren't for me just because I'm very into black love.
I would say yes.
Yes, but not white women. If you go back far enough, your family probably owned slaves. No.
And so you're basically going to group all white people into possibly owning slaves. I think that's a cop out. Here's the thing: if you just want to date your own race, I think that's that's fine. If you're more attracted to your own race and you feel like you may have more in common with your own race, I think that's fine. But to put this caveat is like, pretty much all white people's past, they used to own slaves. That's not true. This is my people. You probably can't say that much during this video because you'd be chastised.
Oh, yeah.
But I can say a whole lot. I don't care.
I can think about it a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't care what y'all say. Look, I'm around y'all all day, and I hear these comments all day. I heard these comments growing up, and so the thing is that I don't care anymore. Actually, I didn't care then either.
I'm not opposed to it, but it's not what I'm trying to get to.
I think if you want to explore people, that's cool. I just don't see myself settling down with anyone outside of my race.
Maybe with any race other than white people. I'm sorry, like I'm not usually attracted to white men unless they're like famous or like movie stars.
Unless they're not famous or movie stars?
That sounds like a gold digger.
Oh, Lord.
That sounds like a gold digger.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
I ain't mad that she a gold digger. Mm-hmm. She ain't messing with no broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't say that.
I was just going to say broke to broke. Oh. The edited version.
Started to make me sweat.
No.
But anyway, yeah, but I would date a white guy if he had money or if he was famous. Okay, like, all right, where are your priorities at?
If y'all see me in an interracial relationship, it's a cry for help. I'm in the sunken place. Get me out of there.
Have you ever been in an interracial relationship?
Yes, in high school.
And how was that for you?
I learned better. Not to say that it was a bad relationship, but like it's not for me. So I learned and now I've grown. Amen.
Amen.
I'm actually in one right now. My girlfriend is South American. She's from Peru. So.
And you're living your best life?
Yeah.
It's good.
It's been good.
I have been in one before. At the end of the day, I couldn't get over the whiteness. I think like the race structures and the power structures will always be an incredible like imbalance that I'm not going to be able to stomach or get over or heal from.
And that's cool, but that sounds like a you problem. That sounds like a her.
Yeah.
That sounds like a her problem.
Yeah.
What?
She can't get out of her own head.
Yeah, it's like that's you being in your own way. I feel like the black community sometimes and certain black people throw all of their excuses and problems onto white people. Struggle is real, but you're a real struggle yourself.
I would say that I have been in an interracial relationship and it just stressed me out too much. I don't think I would ever do that again, just on like the basis of my black politic, my pro-black politic. And I just couldn't date somebody who wouldn't go as hard and as deep for like pro-black politics.
And so that's interesting to me. So it's interesting to me because the BLM riots were a lot of white people out there in the street. There were a lot of black people. There were a lot of white people out in the street. So I kind of feel like there was a lot of white people going hard for, quote unquote, black cause at that point in time. So just to make that broad statement, I can't rock with, white people because I don't think they'd be as down for the cause. There are a lot of white people that are more down for the cause than I am. And I was saying that jokingly, I said laughing just for the simple fact, like, hey, listen, I'll do what I can, but I gotta go to work. Like I can't be out doing something all day. It's like look, I'll catch you during my break time.
Yeah, or I mean a peaceful protest on the weekends or during the day, but at night when things start going haywire, I mean,
like I gotta go home and go sleep. I'm not down for that.
Lose.
Yeah, well, I got things to lose too, but I gotta go home and get some sleep. I'll catch you in the morning around about 8:30 after I had a Starbucks coffee.
I noticed in that video though there was only like 2 people who said that they were in a relationship and it's not for them because, and I think that is valid. But I think that everybody else who said no because, and they have an excuse without even giving it a try. It's like, saying, try these Brussels sprouts. No, I can't eat those because
well, the thing for me is that
I think I'm allergic or whatever.
Honestly, I don't care. For me, it's one of those things like if you have a preference, that is perfectly fine. That is your thing. Don't make an excuse of why because I wouldn't because of this.
Right.
If you like the certain way that somebody's skin tone is, or you like somebody's, some people like look. Even within the black, community, some people like light-skinned people, some people like dark-skinned people. Listen, if you like certain, characteristics or something about a person, that is perfectly fine. Then you are attracted to those characteristics. But I don't think you should really be, boiling down who you, interested in, who you're not interested in, because you're saying, I don't like this about a whole group of people. At that point in time, I think, listen, look, you got some personal problems at that point in time.
Or to speculate on.
Yeah.
things that may or may not have happened.
Look, black people a lot of times don't want to be grouped in as a whole.
I was going to say, or to generalize or group everybody together.
I have been in one. My last relationship was actually an interracial relationship. It was not easy at all, to say the least. There was a lot of different cultural differences in the relationship, but I could expect that.
Do you feel as though sometimes black women can be fetishized in interracial relationships?
Yes. People sometimes look at black women as something to like conquer versus an actual person, or like they're like an experience versus an actual person.
As a black woman, I am aware that like someone might fetishize me over like my skin tone, my hair texture. I'm a taller woman, so I always get like short dudes be like, I want to climb a tree.
I mean, even with black people too, I feel like there's some fetishization, mostly for like skin tone. Like I would say I'm pretty dark, and so even black guys who like dark skinned women can sometimes come off as like, oh my gosh, you're chocolate.
I've actually heard that before. Yeah, I know you hadn't, but listen, growing up black, dating black women, through school and stuff, it's like some guys are interested in certain things. So I have seen where some guys and some women do like, really dark, dark complexion, it's a nice look. I think you said that sometimes, like, really dark is a very, very nice look. I mean, but is that, or would you call that fetish? I can't even say the word.
No,
fetish?
I mean, I wouldn't, but I think it's just like a trait that you like.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, listen, I like dark colored clothing. I mean, I don't wear, bright clothes, Am I fetishing, dark clothes just because I like dark clothes? I don't know, but I think some of these things, to be honest with you, are just things people have going on in their own heads that they that they portray out onto other people. And the thing is that, listen, just because you got something that you're thinking about or you have some insecurity about yourself doesn't mean that I'm thinking that or other people are thinking that about you. The other thing I would say is that, just for me thinking about it, listen, this drink is making me something in this liquor. It's making me sweat. But anyway, who do you think is more fetishized? I can't say that word. Fetishized. Can you say it for me?
Fetishized.
Fetished. Who's more fetished? Who do you think is more fetish? You think black women are more fetish or black men are more fetished? Now here's the thing. I can't speak for black women.
Black men.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't speak for black women. I would say for black men, because everybody always thinks that you're supposed to be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the joke. Once you go black, you go home in a wheelchair.
What? Okay, never heard that.
Never heard that before. It must be like a white joke. You thought I was going to say something different.
Yeah.
No, a lot of people do go back because they can't handle. They don't want to be in a wheelchair.
Well, let's cut that one out.
I put my best foot forward, and I assume that I'm not being fetishized until proven otherwise.
What are some of your reservations about interracial relationships?
As a black woman, it's just so hard, like, really relating to people in like the dating scene already. So now trying to put another like layer of dating someone who doesn't even like understand my general experience as a black person is like.
As a black man, I am fearful that folks of other races, specifically like white folks, just will not be able to understand the struggles that black people, men or women, or non-binary folks may experience. I really think other black people understand that experience really, really well, and having a partner who understands that experience is very paramount.
Nobody goes into a relationship with completely understanding the person that they're with. I mean, that's half of, I guess, the uniqueness and I guess when you're together, I mean, that's you learn about, if you care about the person, you want to know, you want to understand, you want to try to understand the best you can, and you want to hear about the struggles.
Listen, everybody has struggles.
Yes.
Everybody. And to be honest with you, some of these struggles, listen, some struggles are valid. I will admit some struggles are valid. But then there are some struggles that are mentally made up by some people. Here's the thing, and I will say that just because me, it's like, I had my own mental struggles. And until I got past my own mental struggles, they were roadblocks for me. But they were struggles that I set up for myself mentally. They weren't struggles that, were placed on me by society. And so listen, look, being a woman, you can say just being a woman is a struggle to a degree. Being black, you can say being black, to a degree is a struggle. Being a white man, you can say is a struggle because, listen, if you really want to get down to it, it's like, listen, me as a black person, I can say things about white men that they can't say about, that white men can't say about black men. You see what I'm saying? And as a woman, you can say things about men that men can't say about women, and vice versa. And so is the struggle not across the board to a certain degree?
Yeah, everybody has struggles.
Everybody has some type of struggle. And like I said, I'm not trying to say that there aren't certain valid struggles, but I do think that, sometimes people put up their own mental roadblocks. And so, listen.
I mean, if you're a boy and you're growing up in the South, you're white, and you love sports, and you have a dream of being a professional ball player, any kind of ball player, and then you realize that you are in a 50-50 black and white school, I mean, your chances of getting noticed.
But I will say, the white boys that stand out, they can ball. Everybody has some type of struggle. I don't think anybody grows up and people think people that have money, to grow up don't have struggles. They have struggles also. But it just depends on, what type of struggle you're talking about. So
I believe that if you have something against dating within your own race, then you probably have some internal issues or problems that you need to address.
So I would have to agree with that one, though. I think if you're dating someone outside your race just because, you say that I can't get along with people within my race, I think that is a problem. People are people, and people are different. Cultures are different and things, and you have to find things, with each culture that you can have some commonality with. And so, listen, even though I grew up in the black community, and I'm from the black community, and I hang around a lot of things still within the black community, there are a lot of aspects of the black community that I love. And then there's some parts of the black community I'm like, I wish, some things could change. But I also see things in the white community. It's like, what? I kind of like that. But I also see things in the white community. I'm like, I don't really kind of like that stuff. And so I think if you're dating outside of the race to run away from something because you don't like something, I think that at that point in time, it's a problem. I think you should date people, and you should, date people because of the person, not because you're running from something. Mm-hmm. And that's just me. Like, listen, if you're dating somebody of a different race just because you're like, I don't like my race, black people dating a white. And I've actually heard this. I've heard this from black men that say, I date white women because I can't stand black women. Really? Like,
again, you can't just group everybody together.
Like, just because you had some bad experiences, and so it's like, is your mom not black? Do you not have any black sisters? Do you not have any black cousins? Like, how many black females in your family do you have? Do you not like everybody? And if you don't like everybody, maybe it's you. Maybe you're the problem. And the thing is that, like I said, if you're doing that to run from something, at that point in time, I will agree. I think that's a problem. I think that's a problem. If you're dating somebody of a different race and you're genuinely dating them because you genuinely like them as a person, and does it really have anything to do with their color or their race? You just genuinely, like them and have things in common, or they're different or more or interesting enough for you to be, for them to take you out of your comfort zone and to introduce you to, new and different things that you do like, then I think that's okay. But if you're like, I don't want to date them just because, I see that from some black guys, and I'll be honest with you, it's kind of cringe to me. And so
people need to understand like the challenges and the inequities that sort of surround different interracial relationships.
Getting to know someone's family when you don't have that same background is kind of tough, and there might be some things you have to deal with, like Trump supporters.
What's wrong with Trump? I like Trump.
I mean, but that is true. Trying to get to know other people's families with different races, I think that could be difficult. But I think if you're open-minded, then you're there with the person because you love them. I think that other people see that too.
Let me be honest with you. So growing up black, and so
I've heard different things, listen, anybody that's grown up in a black household and you brought somebody of a different race home, you know how the first experience of bringing somebody of a different race home was. It's like, you don't get to talk, but you kind of get to talk. And it comes kind of around, it's like, out of all, you couldn't find somebody of you. You know what I'm saying? Like you get those vibes. But I think for some parents and for some, people around you, is that it's not so much sometimes that the color is that they're worried that you're going to go through some stuff just because you're dating somebody of a different race. Mm-hmm. And I think that's more of the worry. Because here's the thing, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, your parents do worry about you, and some of your relatives, do worry about you. And it's like, what happens if a certain situation happens because you're out with this other person? Mm-hmm. What does this white person's family actually think about you? You know what I'm saying? It's like those things come up, and those are valid.
And they're on both sides.
Yeah, they're valid concerns. And so, listen, if those are the concerns, completely understand it, because they're made out of like wanting to care for you and loving for you, mm-hmm. and not out of just being a discriminatory just because of that person, just because of the color of their skin. So I do understand that aspect. That is the interesting thing about relationships, is that there's a lot of different things that you have to cross. You have to cross religion, religious borders. You have to cross, political borders. You have to cross color borders. You have to cross, the male, female, back and forth. Is like, who's in charge of this relationship? I mean, there's a lot of
friends.
You got to cross the friends. You got like there's so many difficulties within relationships, just to boil it down to just something surface level as much as color.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of times people think that, people are with somebody of a different race just for, kind of just, hey, see what it's like, or the fun of it, or just to say I did this. But honestly, like, if you're in a real relationship with somebody and it's gone on for some time, you really like that person, because it's work.
Yeah.
I mean, all relationships are, but...
Well, if you listen to some of these gurus online, is that you should, if you're in a relationship that requires work, then you're in the wrong relationship. And all relationships require work.
Yes.
All relationships. I don't care how good you think somebody's relationship is. It is still requiring some type of work.
What are your final thoughts about interracial relationships?
I think the really, really big thing for me, though, is if you have to compromise who you are as a person and your identity, then it's a problem. But if you want to love whoever you want to love, I think that's an extremely important thing. I don't think you should be judged for it at all. Yeah.
Love who you want to love, as long as it's for the right reasons. Like, I don't judge if you want to love outside your race. Like, that's on you.
It's all about matching each other where you are at, and having awareness of your identity and being able to grow and develop that awareness together.
As long as you love me because I am me and not because I am a black man, then I'm okay with what we are. Now, I still would prefer, to be with a black woman, but I can't say that I'm just completely closed off to, interracial relationships.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think you can really pick who you fall in love with or who you end up liking or find attractive. So I'm gonna say that, you do it makes you happy, you do it's best for you.
All in all, I think in this whole interracial conversation, at the end of the day, you got to find somebody that you're compatible with. And sometimes, finding somebody you're compatible with may not mean all the times that you're finding somebody that's of the same race or the same color that you are. And when I say compatible, I'm not saying somebody that, does the exact same things you do, that's into the exact same stuff you do. Example, if you're an adventurous person, or you like change, you know what I'm saying? If you find somebody that's adventurous and constantly likes change, doesn't really matter what color they are. Because the thing is that you have somebody at that point in time you can go on adventures with. You have somebody that's constantly interested in change, versus if you're a person that likes change and likes adventure, but you meet somebody that's the same race, same color you, that does not like change, does not like adventure, how long do you think how happy do you think their relationship is going to be? Be honest with you. And so you have to find somebody that's compatible with you. And the thing is that if you find somebody that's compatible with you, you find somebody that's willing to go on the journey of life with you. I don't think that you should, limit your intimate connections and your love life to just race. At the end of the day, I don't know. don't talk too much about this. Like I said, it popped up my feed. I thought it was an interesting video. But I will say, my people, listen, my people are very judgmental on interracial relationships. My people are very, like, I am too. Like I said before in the video before, like, if I see a black lady, a black woman with a white man, I look like, okay. But at the end of the day, it's like, listen, if somebody's happy with the person they're with, listen, that's all that matters.